Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Onward VR Master League Season 9, Week 1. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, and I'm happy to bring you another action-packed game with my co-caster, Xandria. Xandria, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm looking forward to this season. It has been probably one of the longer breaks we have taken between a season, at least up in the casting booth for myself, and I am itching to get into some action and see what these players, what these teams have developed over the offseason and what sort of strategies we're going to see. Just kind of getting into things, I think we can quickly highlight the pick bans and then sort of dive into our discussions. Andrew, why don't you give us those pick bans?
So we have a ban from Rome of Tanker, and I was looking, and it seems to be based on their weakness of Tanker last season. And Lords of War banned Cargo, which seems to be about middle of the ground for both teams, so it's a little bit of an interesting pick.
Yeah, and I wanted to highlight these bans because it does take us into a discussion point of what exactly can we expect from these middle-tier teams that necessarily haven't been highlighted a lot, but have been absolutely practicing during the offseason and developing strategies that I hope to be surprised by. I don't know what to expect. I don't know why they would pick the mid-tier Cargo ban. Maybe there's, they've been practicing during this off-season and they don't feel comfortable on that map. Maybe they have some other maps up their sleeve. It certainly is going to be a fun series to dive into. It's going to be a good one to really kick off the season with for us, for at least you and me, Xandria, because I think we're going to see some really fun plays today.
Yeah, I agree.
Quickly highlight the rosters for both squads. Over on Rome, we do have Gladiator, Big Mike, Aramita, Lorena Scout, Lucky AF, Manbear Pig, Somnambulist, and William Dunce. And over on Lords of War, we have Call Me Fitz, Gunrama, Brad Walker, Feed Metal, Gonzo Dad, Lumpy, Rig79, and Rye Pick. And something I noticed, and that you pointed out to me, Zan, is that this is there's a couple of new players on this Lords of War team.
Yeah, they're about half made up of people who came out of the Onward Rookie Boot Camp, which is a great source of new players for us.
Interesting. So they still have some of their old talent on their squad. Hopefully they'll be the leaders in this first map, which is going to be on Quarantine for map number 1. What do the stats have to say for Quarantine? I'm curious what Rome and Lords of what Rome in particular's win ratio is on it, because it is their map pick.
So for Quarantine Day, that is their strongest map from last season.
So
yeah, they have about 40 round wins.
Wow.
And 49%.
Okay. Not great, but not bad. It's definitely a mid-tier, pretty respectable win ratio. Especially with how long they've been around. I think Rome's going on their 4th season. Yeah, they've been around since season 6, so season 9 now, their 4th season. And in contrast to that, the Lords of War, also the players that have been in there, have been around for a little bit. So even though they have some new talent, sometimes when you have really good experienced vets, they just carry these new players and really elevate their skill level up. So I'm curious what Lords of War are going to break out here. They're going to be kicking it off on the defense to start things off. And we'll quickly go over the active rosters for both squads. Over on Rome, we have Lorena Scout, Gladiator, Driver of Car, Somnambulist, and William Dunce. And over on Lords of War, we have Lumpy, Feed Metal, Rye Pick Ryan, Gunrama 987, and Call Me Fitz. So, as you can see on that Lords of War team, there is still, I think that's 3 out of 5 that are still veteran players of that Lords of War squad.
That is correct. Yeah, and something too is, like, sometimes these newer players, like, they just bring out a whole new outlook on the game, and
right,
boy, they can just be such a wild card sometimes.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be the aggression. Sometimes you see have a new player too is really fun to watch. Sometimes it doesn't succeed, but this is I don't know what to expect. Like, I'm sure Rome also doesn't necessarily know what to anticipate. They've been scrimming just like Lords of War have, preparing for this season, I'm sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're prepared to play the team you're up against in this first week. And so with both teams ready up in the lobby. I think we're going to be hopping into this quarantine round pretty dang soon. And what you personally, Zan, what's your favorite map to get down on and spectate?
For spectating, I would say something like a Suburbia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we do have some of the tight corners here. We'll see what exactly each squad breaks out as we hop into round number 1 of map number 1 in season 9, week number 1. Tons of ones across the board. Rome, maybe going to go for a 3-2 split to kick things off over on Marsoc, and we'll see exactly how that shakes up. We are underway. Gosh, it has been too long since I've been in and watched an Onward game. I cannot... Oh, it feels good.
Yeah, it's a little interesting getting back in the seat, but it's great.
Somnambulist and the Reyna here taking command of the rooftop, getting very early control. Not seeing any Lords of War competing against these players up here on this rooftop, so not going to be any action just yet. We did see an early drop over onto that. Looks like that far. What was that? 3-story? Shots ringing out. Lumpy catches one over on the south, looking for a second. Shots just barely missing his head. He ducks back down and goes for a reload. We got ourselves a firefight on the south. I wonder if Lumpy's going to check this plane wing angle. He's not. Driver of car with a nice shift up there. Maybe Lumpy thought he had caught him. I'm not sure, but Driver does a really great job of rotating up to that plane wing, snagging a kill. Now he has the south across. Ooh.
He's kind of out in the open right now, but he just got behind cover just in the nick of time from that wireframe there in the south.
Just heading over to highlight that angle before those shots rang out on the south. Driver obviously not quite aware of that, and Ryan here making himself known in the center. A bit of a risky angle to be peeking, especially that center angle when you don't have rooftop control in the north. You're pretty vulnerable to getting sniped here.
Got a little bit of drone action right around tank courtyard.
Oh. Yeah, they're going to send that in to try and get an angle on whoever's in that 3-story and figure out where exactly they're positioned so Driver can snap and pick them off.
And looks like Driver car with like a knee out around the corner gets taken down.
Yeah, Gunrama was really patiently holding that angle. That should be picked up on that drone, though, so they should be aware of Gunrama's location, and he does quickly rotate off, which is good because it does look like there's some interesting rotations happening up north right now.
Right, that's definitely a good move, and it looks like he's trying to take down that drone now, which has been up a little too long, in my opinion.
Gotten a lot of information. Lorena scouts here, listening to all these gunshots, gathering information, assessing where these enemies are. So now he knows there's at least 2 there over by objective. Maybe he's not quite aware of Call Me Fit's location here, though. Call is definitely looking for Lorena here.
Yeah, they're kind of dancing around each other right there. They've both got to know of each other's locations.
Interesting. Someone was trying to draw attention. Gunrama picking off Lorena Scout on the south with some good shots there on the backside, actually. He was in the center there and managed to peek over, snap back on Lorena before he could try and maybe potentially cap on them. I'm not sure what Lorena's plan was. Somnambulist with a fantastic refrag.
I'm really liking Gladiator's approach here. He's been pretty much out of play the entire round, so he's going to be kind of a lethal weapon here coming up. I don't think anybody really knows where he is.
Good rotation from Feed Metal. Catches Somnambulist trying to drop back after the smoke. Gladiator has that information, should know where Feed Metal is, and like you're saying, I also don't think Fitz has any idea of Gladiator's location. 2:13 on the clock, so he has plenty of time to work with. I have to see exactly what his plan is and how it shakes out. 1v3 right now.
I was just going to say he's in a 1v3, so he's going to have to be very, very careful with what he does. I mean, they have a pretty good fan defense on him. I mean, you take one guy down and the other one's going to rotate right in and get the refrag. I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out.
Oh no, Gladiator taking shots and everything pinging against that tow truck. I don't know if any of those shots went where he wanted. Now he has to sacrifice a couple of smokes. His location definitely should be aware to Fitz and Speed Metal, who's got his eyes drawn over here.
Yeah, you could just, as soon as those shots rang out, you could instantly see the two lasers just right on his position. They both know where he is.
Tries to cross out, and Ryan scoops up the final kill for Lords of War. And, you know, it's funny, we are having a little offline discussion, and I think Fitz was worried about us teasing his Lords of War team, but there they are with a really nice defensive round one.
Yeah, that was really a solid defense. And I know for a fact that Rome is not a joke of a team. I mean, they're very strong and very hard to play against.
Good job, Lords of War, kicking things off, though. We'll see if they can carry this momentum into their next Marsoc round. This objective is certainly an interesting one. There's a not a. I feel like your options are a little bit limited. The approaches there are lots of different angles you have to be aware of if you want to come in from this onto this objective. You have to be coordinated. You have to have your smokes be pretty on point to deny certain angles and certain vision. You have to at least find one or two picks on the defense if you want to have a chance of pushing up on the objective. It's very hard to sneak cap on, unlike a lot of the other objectives on this map. Definitely one of my least favorite to approach on Marsoc.
Yeah, it is difficult because you have those roads all the way around it on three sides. I mean, one approach you could do is go all the way to the east and kind of come in, because everybody's really expecting you to come from the west. But if you come from due east, it could surprise them and throw them off.
Accidental shots going off as we dive into round number 2 of map 1. That's an early defensive smoke. Interesting. William Dunce may be concerned about getting tagged as he approaches up here and tries to get into an early defensive position by Tank. Look at the overhead. We do see a hard north rotation going on way up on that north side.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Lorena is definitely looking in that direction, so there's no way they're going to get to the northeast without being seen.
Depends how tight he holds that angle, though. He drops off and gives some time like he does right there to check the pad. There is opportunity, but yeah, as long as he stays dialed in here, it certainly is going to be a tough cross for them. Might need some utility if they want to cross that angle, honestly.
I'd like to see some of those use the armored personnel carriers to kind of get an angle on Lorena.
Lords of War not really wasting a ton of time pushing up. Feed Metal almost crossing the center street here, pushing into Tank Courtyard. Some shots ringing out from the south. A long range shot from Driver of Car trying to snipe those on the rooftop.
One on rooftop.
Yeah, this is a great utilization of the dunes here. It's really hard to see people way back in that corner.
Such a long... He's using that 12 times, clearly, to get the angle he needs.
That's a tough shot, too, offhand. Like, you really need to get down in a hunkered position and use your body to support your firing hand.
Ooh, Somnolist able to catch Lumpy on this rotation. Interestingly enough, Lorena's angle not coming into play here as Somnolist gets aggressive, finds himself with a second kill. Gunrama also getting picked up trying to get the res.
Thank you, Dante, for the machine gun.
Little praise to Dante, the developer of Onward, from Somnolist. He does enjoy this LMG. Really pumping the rounds down range. Gave Lords of War no opportunity to recover from that, and now they're sort of trapped, really. Rome could push in and surround the remaining Lords of War offenders.
Yeah, I agree. They are kind of stalling out here on their approach. I wonder if Rome really knows where they are, if there's still a lot of questions in their mind as to where the offense is.
There goes their south approach. Feed Metal getting picked off. Gladiator snagging him, and now it's all up to the 2 in the north. Into a 2v5. Definitely a tall order, and I don't think they know where this north rotator is. I don't think they have an idea of where Somnambulist is at, and Rypick may be vulnerable to a quick check from Somnambulist unless Call Me Fitz finds the angle.
Yeah, with that defensive frag that just went out in Tank Courtyard and kind of the directions that they're all looking, I think they definitely have the question of, like, where is the offense?
Job from Ryan using that side red dot. Snags himself a kill. One of the new attachments in the most recent update. You will notice some new items and new utility items coming out throughout this season as new things get introduced. In particular, I'm looking forward to when that Volk drone gets cleared for league play.
Same here. I've also really been enjoying the 2 times flip down sight with the red dot.
Gotta cut you off. Let's look at this push. The aggression from Rome. They are gonna suffocate this offense. They know they're up here in the north, and Gladiator and Will are pushing.
And there it is.
Oh, is that a team kill?
Is that just blind fire?
I think he was shooting over towards Somnambulist direction is what it seemed like.
It does appear that they are still searching.
Uh-oh, Will doesn't see Ryan tucked in here in this crevice. Ryan should hear the footsteps. Oh, but the long angle from the center. Driver of car scoops him up, and now we're down into a 1v4. Can't take on the overwhelming Rome defense. He goes down. And Rome put on quite a nice defensive, I wouldn't say clinic, but a great defensive job there and tie things up 1-1.
Yeah, and that was a great answer back to that first round win.
Love to see that that aggression come in. You know, it's nice to see the counter aggression. I see them not just kind of sit on their laurels after finding a few picks. They instead know the kill count, know where the enemies are, and utilize that information to their advantage, pushing forward and kind of suffocating out the remaining 2, not even allowing that 2v5 comeback to even be an option, really.
Right. I definitely feel like once they got down to about 2 players on Marsoc, the approach really stalled out, and that was their downfall.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the key things that you'll notice in like the top 10 squads is that they're good at adjusting when things don't necessarily go to plan, and I think that's something that everybody needs to get good at if you really want to be a top competing team. If your plan doesn't go into action and you lose 1 or 2, you have to be able to adjust. Maybe even have plans B, C, and D in the books so that in case things don't go right, you have rotations in that you know are going to be effective.
Yeah, I've definitely had that moment where I've looked at my tablet and gone, okay, now what?
Yeah, and that's almost the place you never really. I mean, it's obviously a place you never really want to be in when you are in a league match in particular. Diving into round.
But then when
3.
you are there,
go ahead.
Gotta be able to work out what to do.
Yeah, right. And that's sort of what really sets apart the 1v4 clutches from just another dominating defensive round. Going for a 2-3 split here. Driver of car and Gladiator crossing the street early, but at a very long range. So pretty tough to spot unless there's some sort of 12 times optics coming down here. And so should be able to freely cross the street. This is round number 3 of map 1. If you are just tuning in, Rome versus Lords of War is underway, and we are into a tie ball game. I still don't know who's going to come out on top. I guess we didn't really give our predictions, so Zan, now that you've seen 1 round apiece, I'll allow you to predict who you think is going to come out.
Top for the whole game?
Yeah,
or
the
this
whole
map?
series.
I think Rome's going to take it.
Okay. Little drone coming out from Gladiator. Definitely see more drone usage than I have in most of last season in this one game.
And driver car up here in the dunes, getting into it.
Won't be popping off some shots. He's got the optics, so he should be able to spot him from that distance, but decides to pull off of that angle. Maybe doesn't feel comfortable challenging the dunes like you're saying, it's really hard to spot people up on that dunes because there's so much range of where you can peek up, where you can pop up and shoot from and then drop back down into.
Yeah, exactly. You can be so unpredictable.
Yep. Now Lumpy's in a really bad spot. He's very vulnerable to a north rotation. If they do end up getting an angle here onto ambulance, he's going to be completely exposed. He has no coverage on his whole left side here. And so many lasers crossing his path. It's going to be so risky for him to peek this.
A few shots coming out from rooftop, not really landing anywhere. Just kind of letting Lumpy know, I know you're there.
I've seen lasers go over Lumpy's body. How has he not been shot at yet? There they are. Driver of car picks him up. Metal picking off a drone in the meantime. And here comes Somnambulist in the center. Can't find his kills. And we got firefights across the board here. North, south, everywhere.
One dead south.
Oh, Gunrama. Looking for the double. Doesn't shoot that for some reason. Ran out of ammo. Clicked with nothing. Peeks back up. Still doesn't take the shots. What is Gunrama doing? Am I going crazy? Are you seeing this?
I am seeing this.
Oh, it's okay. It was a first-person render issue, I think. I was not seeing the cockpit there, and it looked like Gunrama had a pretty dang good angle. Once I popped into third person, I did notice it. So.
Is it possible his gun's clipping into the stairs, not allowing him to fire?
Oh, it could be. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't take those shots. He knew he was there. He threw the nade, and now he's certainly where he's here on this corner as the smokes come out. Ooh, and Ryan holding that corner scoops him up. Shots were ringing out from the rooftop.
And I'm not sure if Lords of War is aware that they've left Lorena down here but not out. That could be devastating to them as a source of information for Rome.
They also still have one south. I was on board Fitz when he called out that he tagged one south, so I think he abandoned that angle. So they might be getting a free south rotation here, and ultimately a pretty nice pinch if things work out for him.
I like William Dunn's approach here, just sort of crab walking through the street.
Might be able to catch the angle onto Ryan here. But Ryan's so hard to see in that dark corner.
I wonder if William right now is just thinking about getting his teammate up to strengthen his numbers.
No, he's still rotating. Looking for that angle there. Oh, doesn't get the shots in time. Ryan snagging himself another and holding down the south side. Now it all comes down to driver of car in the south. Or sorry, that was north. Driver's in the south.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of noise over here. Oh.
Well.
And I speak too soon.
Ooh, the elbow pick. Tries to get behind cover on the car, and Gunrama does finally peek up from his stairwell and take some shots. Grabs the final kill, and Lords of War keep their lead 2-1.
Yeah, they're doing a really great job here so far today with having like sort of a redo of your team roster, and then to come out and be this strong is very impressive.
I mean, I'm looking at this KD right now. Ryan, are we sure we did we're accurate on everything here? He is from the rookie camp. This guy 3-1 right now against Rome.
I'm not sure about the specific players that are from the boot camp.
Okay. Either way, Ryan, a name I'm not familiar with, Rypick at least, doing quite well on Lords of War here. 3-1 for his squad. Gunrama also 4-2. Driver of car trying to put Rome on his back as we hop into round number 4 on map 1.
Yeah, I just looked into that for you. Gunrama, Lumpy, and Freed Metal are the only original players from that team. Everybody else is new.
I'm going fucking roof right now.
Well, I know Call Me Fitz isn't new to the league.
Oh, with the exception of him, of course.
Okay.
You know, he's
Okay.
an old player as well.
Look at this. The aggression from Rome on defense. They want North Rooftop, and they've got it. Invested 3 in securing this, and it was the right rotation considering it was a crater spawn coming in from Lords of War.
Lumpy here going to take it down as soon as he peeks this corner.
He is very fortunate. He doesn't get scooped up there. He realizes might be a little risky peek in the corner. Drops back for just a little while. Aggression and moving through the smokes. I like the moves here from Lords of War to gain themselves more ground.
Shoot the cement truck.
Bliss might find himself in action here pretty shortly. Lorena on a flank, and Rome are really pressuring here. Almost a team kill coming out there. And now, Feed Metal able to snag the feed of Somnambulist. A really nice shot there. We're tied up. Actually not. Lords of War in a disadvantage, 3-4.
Yeah, that was a really great kill there. Kind of put the pressure from 2 angles there, and we were able to take that one down.
Lorena is getting so aggressive. Look at where he is right now. Over on this far right side of objective, absolutely applying all this pressure on Lords of War. He's found 2 picks. He's going to toss a nade, and he's looking for a third. And he finds it. 3 kills over here for Lorena.
Yeah, sometimes this very aggressive kind of play definitely can pay off.
Ooh.
Wonder if they're...
Go ahead.
I was just going to wonder if they were going to confirm that kill, but round's over.
Yeah. No need. They snag the final one, keeping things even 2-2. Certainly a close battle so far. Rome.
Yeah, I always love to see these kind of round for round, blow for blow kind of matches. Always a bit of a nail biter and exciting.
I feel like when you have these real close matches, it's when you start to see the real interesting plays come out. I do anticipate, I mean, like right there, for example, Rome getting aggressive on defense. That's a shift in how they have been playing defense, and it certainly caught Lords of War off guard. That's a really nice move there for them to tie things up and keep things even 2-2 here. Now I'm curious what sort of plan they're going to break out on Marsoc, because they need to get themselves in the lead, or this trading of Volt rounds is not going to pay off for them.
Right. Yeah, I don't know about these teams in specific, but I know some teams are just insane in how they do recon on the teams, and you have to stay so unpredictable in order to stay ahead of that.
And I mean, in terms of recon, there's not exactly a ton of footage on either one of these teams, so it's going to come down to your practice, what sort of plays each team has in their arsenal, and if those plays will be effective against their opponent, not necessarily anything handcrafted here to go up against Lords of War or Rome, but...
And you can always get a good sense of play style just from pub lobbies.
Yeah. Very true. Exactly what sort of play style Lords of War break out as we hop into round number 5 of map 1. Very early southeast spawn for Rome, and they're pushing out hard, not wasting any time. I don't know if Feed Metal caught any. Yes, he does spot 1 there, so now they know the spawn location. Should see a shift in the defense here from Lords of War.
And as you say it, you do.
Nice rotation from Gunrama. Grabs 1. Feed Metal getting scooped up by Somnambulist. Looks like he overstayed his welcome on that angle. Drone here coming out. That's the 4th one we've seen.
They definitely seem to like their drones.
Him on
I'm
this
wasting
south.
no time trying to shoot that out of the sky.
This headshot there from Will opens up this Lords of War defense quite a bit. They now have control of Burning Building, and when you lose control of Burning with this objective, it does become pretty dang tough to hold on to.
Yeah, we definitely still have that west wireframe.
Lumpy's still available for callouts. We'll see if Will
That's true.
sends out confirm shots. Doesn't look like he's going to.
I wonder if he'll move up into that Burning Building to get the confirm.
Really nice relocated smoke there. Will checking stairs and pre-firing. Not risking it at all. And here come two more smokes out of the hands of Somnolus. He was stockpiling these things. Oh, and a team kill from Ryan.
Ooh. Yeah, I just listened in on Lumpy, and he's definitely calling out everything he sees.
I'm shocked Ryan's still alive here, considering that they have that two-story burning like here. So weird.
Is William gonna go for the confirm? No.
Lorena scoops up Ryan, and that does put Rome into the lead. They secure themselves a Marsoc victory. And now it's going to come down into the hands of Lords of War, because this is a must-win round. If they lose this map 1 into the hands of Rome. And that's not what you want when you're the away team necessarily, because you don't have the map picks in your advantage.
Right.
Getting confirmed
You
from
think-
chat that Ryan is from the rookie tourney.
Okay.
Pretty dang good performance. Although he did just get a team kill, so his KD ratio has drastically shifted.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Uh-huh.
I don't know anybody that has played this game for more than about 5 minutes who hasn't gotten a team kill.
I know. Yeah, especially in the chaos when smokes are ringing out, squads are pushing you in like that. It's actually a strategy for a lot of teams to utilize that commotion to their advantage and find picks and get people out of position that they would maybe normally not be in.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if Lords of War is gonna possess what it takes to dig in here and get the next 2 points when they're down, right now.
Yeah, a good test for Lords of War as we start off the season. Certainly have their backs against the wall as we hop into round number 6 of map 1. Rome here just 1 round away from securing themselves their first map of the season. I'm sure they want to. They played it aggressive on a similar position objective last round. We'll see what they break out here. Sounds like they know the location, and look at this. Will is charging forward. The Lords of War credit, though, this does look like a shift in strategy. They're playing it much slower than they have in past rounds.
Yeah, they are. They're kind of taking up reconnaissance positions and waiting for Rome to kind of slip up and peek out.
This is a really smart play from Lords of War, honestly, because Rome showed that they can play aggressive defense, and here Lords of War reacting off of going down and playing it really close, tight to the chest, playing it slow and easy, and they might find themselves with a pick here if Lumpy can land these shots. Oh, finds the feet underneath. Some great pick there. That's exactly what Lords of War need, and now they're into this nice 5v4.
Yeah, thinking of ducking down and shooting underneath the Humvee, that's a great move.
Yeah. And it's something as a, when you are that person getting shot at, you have to be aware of. You got to hide your feet behind those tires. Can't afford to really sort of step out from behind them, or else your feet are vulnerable to getting picked up. I don't know if that's always been the case. I'm not sure the hitboxes have always been so friendly. Either way, a solid lead. Lorena here applying pressure onto the south push from Lords of War. Thinking flash for a second. Not to.
Here, Ryan moving up. Is he going to meet William? This is danger close.
Ooh, Will does pop off, gives away his position. Ryan should be aware, has eyes trained in. Can't find the shots.
Oh.
And that's when that side rail red dot is not necessarily as effective as you would hope it could be.
Too bad Ryan didn't have a frag right now.
What he does have is a backup buddy, Lumpy.
That's what he has, yeah.
Camping in that 2-story, snags the rotation. Lords of War keeping their advantage 4v3 here.
And this is exactly what I was talking about digging in and just when you're down and getting back up.
Good for them so far. We'll see how they can utilize this advantage. They can push onto objective. I mean, do you think Cap's on mind right now?
I kind of doubt it. Not the way they're moving. I mean, we're about halfway through the round now, and they're pretty far off yet.
Yeah, they're not even really on the ideal side for objective. Although if they do manage to take control of Burning in the next minute, they have plenty of time to move on to objective.
Yeah. Freed here might be getting into it here pretty soon. With the Lorena down in that crater, that western crater.
Now he has the angle. If Lorena peeks up, it's going to be bad news for him.
Oh, and he's managed to cross with only taking a round and not dying.
I heard him go twice. I don't think I've ever heard somebody get hit twice and still be alive and Onward. That's quite fortunate there for him to be able to tuck back in behind the corner. Ryan's now aware of Lorena.
Must have just been a flesh wound.
Starts hobbling around with one leg.
Yeah, right. See if you can get this crossed unseen.
A scoop up there from Lorena. Grabs Ryan. But there is another now. I'm not sure he'll be prepared for Call Me Fitz, who has taken up the position of Ryan and is eyes on here to Lorena's position. Huge pick from driver of car. Lorena's going out with the pistol. Run out of ammo for his AR. It's all he has left.
Yeah, sometimes on these bigger maps, you really have to manage your ammunition because you can get into quite a few fights.
Flash, I think that hit Fitz. It did. Lorena, pistols. Fitz down. And now he has a rifle at his feet with a bounty of ammo. Doesn't want the scope. Actually goes for the Glock. Nice job from Lumpy to get the frag into a 1v2. Will he be aware of the one onto his left? Oh, risky. Gladiator here in such a good position to deny this approach from Lumpy. Driver of car also in a good position in Rome. Secure map number 142. In line with your predictions, Ann.
That's true. Yeah, unfortunately, they just weren't able to pull that first map win, but great for Rome.
Couldn't ask for a better start to your season, really. Get your first map win, 4-2. Get tested a little bit and then end up coming out on top with 2 wins in a row. They can carry some serious momentum into this second map, but it is going to be Lords of War's pick.
Right.
Where do we think we're going to go? As a reminder, we have Tanker banned from Rome and Cargo banned from Lords of War. Quarantine getting picked here. We still have quite a few maps in the pool, actually. It's not so limited as it used to be.
I mean, if I look at Lords of War's top map, I mean, it's a bizarre day.
But
maybe that's too obvious.
We didn't talk about this in pick bands. We have Turbine and Snow Peak as options now.
That is true. And Downfall Night, which I'm very excited for.
Map pool has certainly expanded just a bit for this season 9, and we'll be going into Subway for our second map. Lords of War wanting to get things close quarters.
Yeah, Subway is one way to do that. It's sort of I feel like it's a little bit of an oddball map. You don't see it a ton, but I always enjoy playing it. Lots of interesting, kind of surprising plays you can do with it.
We saw a resurgence of Subway at the start of last season. And I do wonder if maybe it's just kind of like an early season pick that teams like to grab because maybe they've put in a little bit extra time into it than other squads are, and you figure out what teams are good at Subway and what teams aren't and who's put in the work. And ultimately, every team should be pretty familiar with every map, but you know, it's never the case that a team is good at every map.
I mean, that would be the ideal situation.
Yeah, it would be the dream. Maybe you could argue Globo had that a few seasons ago, but I don't think any team's really been quite so undefeatable on every map in the recent months of Onward.
Time's a little different for us here at Onward.
Yeah, it is. We go through seasons so fast. We're long, really. I feel like our seasons are so long. I don't know. We do a lot of playing around here. People love the game. We got to get into the action. Not seeing any substitutions coming in for Rome or Lords of War. Same active rosters on both sides. I think both wasn't really any underperformers on either team. They really kind of went out there and had a good first map. I am very curious to see what Lords of War are going to be capable of on a map of their choice, and if they'll be able to, you know, really hold this against Rome. What's Rome's numbers on this map? I'm curious. Trying to figure that one out, but
yeah,
I do wonder if it's a pick from Lords of War into Rome almost, you know, because research does get done. There is a lot of stat information on the website.
For Rome, you're looking at about a 61% round win on Subway.
Wow. Maybe research wasn't done from Lords of War, because you would think if you have that kind of win percent rate on a map like this, you might want to avoid putting Rome into a position of playing it. But
I'm just looking at the objective. We're starting off on that far basement objective. You know, ever since they added the tunnels, that really changed up this map. You know, I'm always seeing the firefight there at the end of the downstairs tunnel with lots of C4.
Yeah, I don't know. It's certainly a different defending this downstairs objective than it used to be, and as the changes were very necessary to this map. And as soon as they came out, everyone did start to play it again, because it's certainly more competitive. And despite these new options being available, it doesn't look like anybody from the Rome team is going to be utilizing them, or maybe they'll actually be coming up to the new center approach here.
It looks like they're sending 4 men through the upper catwalk.
Yeah.
It's an interesting tactic for sure.
Pretty aggressive, but I suppose with that far underground spawn, you can afford it. And there's a drone.
Gonna test the pilot skill on that.
Drone. I didn't know we were doing a drone racing simulator here. Yeah, he's back at their spawn. He deployed the drone at spawn, and he's just a drone, really, for his team.
Yeah, typically you kind of shy away from deploying it at spawn, but on this map, it doesn't matter.
You almost need to if you want to keep up with your squad. Wonder where that drone went.
Maybe he just parked it.
Oh, you're right, because he is moving now.
William Dunce with the shield. Looks like he's thinking about going to the far basement.
Gonna be a tough approach. Speed Metal and Gunrama, both with crisscrossing angles on it.
Best he can hope for is maybe getting the first guy and then rely on his buddy for the refrag.
Drone coming back out.
Oh, and the drone is arriving.
Oh no! A botch nade from Will doesn't go around the corner, scoops up both of them, and a confirm. Oh, that was a flash, thankfully. But both of them insta-killed anyway. Yeah. No time to react to that either. Here's a push from driver of car. He gets picked off.
And Lorena just going in. Gets the one in the corners. Going back looking for the next one.
Charging in quite a... That was the full court press across all the different angles from the Rome team, and Lords of War just picked it apart. Some plays there from Rome, though. They certainly had an idea of how they wanted to approach this. It just did not pay off for them, and Lords of War go up 1-0.
Yeah, unfortunately not. You know, it looks like it started out as a good approach, but that botch nade just killed it for him.
Yeah, it was the worst case scenario.
You know, that kind of reminds me of an interesting point of VR is it kind of takes the robotic aspect of gaming out of it and kind of brings it back into a more like human level organicness, and that, you know, one little wrong squeeze of a finger and you're botching a nade and killing you and your teammate.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad toss. Not ideal there, and maybe a little help from the side of Rome there, you know, for Lords of War, and we'll see what they break out on their offensive round. But really interesting to see the drone. I just don't know what the plan with the drone was, because I would figure the way you'd want to approach is send the drone into that bottom stairs. You send it down to the stairwell, you find out what angles they're holding left or right. Maybe they shoot at the drone, you still get gun information. But they just kind of had it floating above there, never really diving down to where it should have been.
I mean, it seemed like that's what they were doing at one point. Now, why they launched it in the beginning, not so sure. And then he seemed to have missed the approach angle on that. And then everything just sort of went downhill from there. But that would have been a great play because you know somebody's going to be down there. It's just a matter of where they're at.
I really liked seeing it. I thought that's what they were going to do with that, but goes unutilized. Lords of War with the lead, and they dive into round number 2 on the offense, swapping some mags, and we'll see what their plan of approach is here.
Looks like 2 going to the far basement.
Ain't it quick? Full sprinting here, charging forward, really. Ryan, aggressive on this push. You certainly can run into defenders here with the timing if they decide to push this as well, but...
Yeah, it would be odd to run into anybody at this point. Not to say it couldn't happen. And it looks like Lords of War's kind of slowing their approach down a little bit, which is definitely what you'd want to do at this point.
Yeah, got Ryan with pretty much good control of the downstairs. Fitz is going to be getting into a position where he may find himself with a firefight on his hands. Wow, and a nice stealth move from Gladiator. He stayed tucked in between those entry rails and Peeks up, snags himself a kill. Very nice job holding the angle there. Some more shots from Lorena, grabbing gun Rama. And he finds, no, doesn't find the same. Yeah, he does. He trades. Lumpy also picking off Lorena, but that's 2 for him. That's the North pretty much done.
I just noticed driver of cars defensive position here in the railway underneath this little ramp. Very, very good use of cover.
Yeah, he's going to make it pretty dang tough for this Feed Metal Ryan combo to come out of that doorway. I wonder if there's any C4 planted anywhere in the vicinity. I don't see anything on the walls or on the doors here.
I feel like driver of car would be the man with the clacker. And I don't see one.
Oh, what's happening? Driver doesn't shoot!
Whoa.
Ryan spots him out and picks him off.
It looks like he was trying to adjust his position or something.
Now they have to react. They've lost hold of this angle. Somnambulist doesn't have a good way to peek out, and they see the shift coming in here from William Dunst. The smoke out, is it in time? It's not. Will grabs one. Ryan with a nice refragging. We're into a full firefight right now.
Yeah, with only one man left to defend the objective and 2 attack. I'm sorry, I got that completely backwards.
I mean, it really is that, though. Gladiator's still upstairs. He's not down here to help Somnambulist just yet. And the C4 gets detonated.
Oh.
It was sitting there the whole time.
Gladiator must have been the clacker man.
Finally deploys it, and Rome snag themselves with their defensive round, albeit just barely, but tie it up 1-1.
Do you think he was directly aware that there was somebody in range, or he just went for it?
I do wonder if he heard footsteps underneath as he was rotating, but it seemed to me like he just kind of decided to detonate it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you would have heard somebody down there in that position, but to know, like, definitively that they were in range of that C4, that might have been a little bit of luck.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. But sometimes luck's what you need in these VRML matches.
This is very true.
Pretty dang good series so far. A lot of good back and forth between both of these teams, and seeing really good plays. Some good angles coming in, some good team coordination coming in from both squads, and the league is the best it's ever been on a whole in terms of skill level. It is definitely the highest it's ever been. You're seeing new players come in already pretty dang good because they've gone up through this training program and become familiar with how competitive this league really is, and when they get put into these situations, they sometimes shine. And it's why we got to keep an eye on these mid-tier teams, because who knows who's going to be in the top 10 this season. I think there's going to be all sorts of shifting in ranks.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And just from this match so far, I'm seeing use of cover and tactics that I've never seen before.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's exciting times. That's why I'm looking forward to those new, to any really new gear inclusions into the league. It's always fun to watch. And I mean, just on Downfall, or on Quarantine, saw a bunch of the Lords of War using that canted red dot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely give that a shot and see how it plays out for me.
I'm trying to think how that's got to feel doing in game and aiming that way and shooting that way sideways.
I mean, I know when you're shooting over top of cover, sometimes your rounds will hit the
That
cover
actually
if you're
might-
too far up.
Yeah,
So I'll turn my gun sideways to kind of get around that. So maybe you kind of already have that with that canted sight.
yeah, probably actually helps peeking over angles like that. You're right. Those look like we are having some tech difficulties on the Lords of War side. Could be hopefully just a few moments before we're back into the action with round number 3. But for now, we are still awaiting a 5th from Lords of War.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's not a match if you don't have one drop.
Certainly hard to avoid in a online league.
Yeah.
That's why we have a bunch of rules in place for situations like this. Timeouts are available for each team, and tech difficulty moments are, as you say, pretty expected.
Sometimes it even just blows my mind that it works at all. You got these little pixies flying across the world at the speed of light.
Yeah, it is a marvel of modern technology that we can all shake hands in virtual reality together. I'm getting some news from still waiting on this 5th. I think we are going to cut it to a brief intermission while we wait for the tech difficulties to hash out. We will be back with more Onward action in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. We are back into the action. Rome versus Lords of War. This is map number 2 for those of you just tuning in. They're all tied up. Rome has taken map 1 on Quarantine 4-2. That was also a pretty dang close match.
And again, with the drone coming out from spawn. Kind of interesting to see what they're going to do with this.
The hard push coming down this lane. This time, though, Rig is here. And that's actually a substitute coming in for Lords of War.
Oh, they swapped the player out?
Yep. Maybe too many tech difficulties or just a mid-game sub. Unsure, but this new position from Rig 79 may throw off this Rome push because they didn't have this defensive position here last time they made this move.
It looks like the shield coming down the upper corridor.
Yeah.
Gonna run into Rigs here. Oh.
but he has to move. The nade's going to come out right around the corner. He's able to drop down the stairs.
Nice pistol kill from William.
Very solid push. Will dropping the shield on the reload, able to scoop it up there. Gladiator catching out Lumpy on a long flank. Wow, Gladiator was using the drone and managed to grab one. And Rome here getting pushed by Lords of War. Ryan's getting aggressive up top. He may be looking for some more kills up here.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that this map really lends itself to, is sending out an aggressive defense player to kind of come in behind the offense and really decimate them.
Gladiator missed. Ryan on the rotation.
And here he comes in that upper corridor.
I think I heard the call out that, yeah, they are aware. Will here peeking at the pistol shots ringing in. Ryan catches one in the shoulder, and Driver finishes him off on the stairwell. Really good communication from Rome. Grabs themselves a huge 4-2 advantage right now for this.
And now William.
Go ahead.
William picking up the rifle to use that for a little bit more firepower.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty dangerous with that shield.
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried that technique before, and it's very difficult to handle a rifle one-handed.
Ooh, look at Fitz' location, and Rome actually caps! Was so focused on the shield push, I didn't even notice that they had sent one up from downstairs to come up onto objective and secure themselves a nice 3-1 lead.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Great job, Will.
So sneaky, we didn't even catch it.
Yeah. Neither one of us. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
No, not at all.
Apparently no one on Lords of War saw it either.
Very true.
3-1 for Rome now.
This is a tough moment for Lords of War right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to win at least 3 more rounds
in a row. Cannot give up any here. Otherwise,
at least 2 more in a row. Yeah.
Otherwise, your series is done here. You've lost the series. You're going to start off the season with an MMR drop, which isn't exactly how you want to kick things off. But I will say Lords of War have certainly been doing a very good job in competing against this Rome squadron today. Despite, I mean, even with their 2 new players, those new players have been doing great, finding some really interesting picks, getting up there on the KDs. You look at Ryan right now, he's 3-2. You know, that's very good for a rookie player in the VRML going up against a team like Rome, who, as we have mentioned, is definitely a full veteran team. They've been around since Season 6, and they certainly know their way around the maps and how to play together. Lords of War have shown moments where they certainly have good plays, good strategies, but when you lose 1 or 2, I think that's where Lords of War could definitely work on improving and sort of swinging things back into their favor.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Rome is exceptionally hard just because of how consistent their roster has been.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking here, the ex-member list is 4 members over as many seasons as they've been up. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of turnover in the league and on teams. Players swapping squads, getting picked up by different teams, new teams forming throughout the season, and to have that sort of consistency, it pays off, and maybe that's going to be what puts Rome up into that upper echelon of teams this season.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak from experience that when you swap out a team, it's like a whole new animal. It's so difficult to kind of find a place and work together and gel as a unit.
Are there more sex shops than there used to be?
I haven't really been keeping track.
Good answer.
Yeah. That would be an interesting thing to kind of throw in every season. It just, you can get one more.
Eventually, it's just a red light district, and all the shops are sex shops.
I feel like we're about to get into it, or there's something going on.
Well, I think one thing we really got to note is that between rounds, the teams do have a minute and a half to hash out strategies, deduce what they're going to do, figure out ways to push and apply pressure. And that hasn't really been getting utilized throughout most of this series.
Okay.
Now, when the things are kind of on the line, Lords of War back against the wall, it does seem like they're taking a bit more of their time to sort of devise a strategy for this round because, as we've been highlighting here, it's a must-win.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always interesting to see, too, like, you know, say Lords of War does lose this map, like, are they just going to give up on the third, or are they going to really play it out and try to minimize that MMR damage?
Like the tech issues plaguing Lords of War, Feed Metal having to drop out because he wasn't able to connect. Probably could have gone for a rehost or something, but here we are, 3-1. Rome on the defensive, diving into round number 3. Do the math, they've got a cap.
It'd be really nice to see Lords of War get a cap on this,
Yeah.
this objective. That would just be the best answer back possible.
Go for a 1 downstairs, 2 north, 2 through the catwalk up the center. Definitely spreading thin, but putting themselves into a position where they can maybe all converge on the objective. Maybe even send one stealthing underground like Rome did last round.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like Rome is seeing that one coming and is hiding out here in the stairwell.
Yep. One thing that you'll notice teams do is they always defend the objectives that they push. And in this case,
Right.
William defending this stairwell because they themselves like to utilize it on this objective. And there's a smoke here. You know an enemy's down. Or is that a defensive smoke, I wonder?
I didn't catch it.
But it would be a pretty dang good defensive smoke to deny Lumpy from really feeling comfortable to push up.
And Lords of War definitely taking their sweet time on that catwalk. You know, I know I'm always tempted to really rush that, but if you really take your time, you don't get called out from the people below you who are hearing your footsteps.
It actually looks like they're backing off from the catwalk. Dunce catching out Lumpy, their underground approacher. Going to deny them any sort of sneak cap. It's probably going to come down to if they can get the right picks and open up this upper level. The objective's located.
And this upper catwalk's getting to be a bit of a dangerous area. Got Gladiator on one end, Lorena on the other. Fitz and Gunrama has to know Gladiator's down below them, but are unable to call it out for fear of giving out their own position.
Raid there, Ryan and Lorena going down. Does open up the north approach a little bit for Rig. We'll see what he does with gap and coverage. Oh, I had my perspective wrong. I thought Fitz were rotating back for a second there, but they kept pushing forward. They do have control of that catwalk, as you said. And they're going to have to confirm Lorena, or he's going to be able to give away some pretty good information.
Don't think Fitz is aware or just doesn't care.
Rama managed to grab one. Fitz eyes trained on to Somnolus. Shots coming in again from Gunn, just confirming his pickup.
He's gonna have to watch Gladiator.
Oh no, Somnolus dropped his gun and Fitz picked him off. In the meantime, you're right, Gunrama able to scoop up Gladiator. They've cleared the upper floor. It's all up to Will to hold the objective.
Come on, Fitz. Confirm Lorena.
Will actually picking up Lorena on the ground,
Yeah,
and Fitz
unfortunately.
scooping him up. 3-2, Lords of War, hang on. whatever they planned during that between rounds ended up paying off.
Yeah, that was time well spent. Yeah, it definitely seems like Lords of War is working together as a unit.
Yeah.
You know, you see them coming from multiple angles and kind of converging on the enemy in unison. It's working out for them.
It is. It's been a pretty competitive couple of rounds between both of these squads. Rome's been certainly tested, but they have ultimately come out on top. See if that can continue to be the trend. It looks like we are waiting for a fifth to rejoin for Rome. Yeah, that doesn't take too long. It does look like he's back in. Is that a sub? JJ?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Both teams,
they-
mid-round subs.
They're listed as an ex-member for Rome. So are they reservist?
Conspiracy theories are abound. Yeah, most likely a reservist, someone that they're comfortable with playing with already, someone they can bring in if necessary for a situation like this. Clearly they were having tech issues on one of their players at least.
It is confirmed. JJ is listed as a reservist.
Oh, dipping into the reservist pool in a map. I mean, think of the timing here. You're up 3-2 on your map, your series winning map right now. You're going to sub in a reservist.
It's a tough move.
Yeah. Granted, as you said, he does have experience playing with Rome, so it is probably the best reservist you could bring in. But a reservist nonetheless.
Interesting to see how this plans out. I mean, because there's no doubt that teams evolve over time. So have Rome evolve past playing with JJ to where they kind of forget how they play. I do see here that he was on the roster for Season 8, so it wasn't that long ago. Or it may just be like riding a bike.
No. See what comes out here. JJ is a roster. I guess maybe they're taking their minute and a half to try and figure out where exactly JJ is going to set up and where he's going to hold from. Doesn't look like you and me are gonna have to wait around any longer. Ooh, this objective used to be way worse, but it is still an interesting one. And for round number 4, with subs across the board for every team, we're gonna see what exactly is out here.
We will know in 6 minutes or less.
We will know. Curious what sort of defense Lords of War bring out here. If we see any early nades, if Gunrama is going to try and hold up here, if we see any C4 on the walls. Exactly the plan is. What we do see is a drone.
Yeah.
Spots
They'll
out
be able to
Gunrama.
call out this aggressive push from the defense. You know, one thing I find very difficult about using the drone is that you have to keep 2 hands on the control and take one off to run the radio.
Oh, Fitz with the C4 gets in there and manages to grab one. So that's how they utilize the C4, and that's why he was getting so aggressive. I was wondering, he knows that he's been spotted. He knows the drone's there. Why is he pushing?
You know, I do say they learned that from me.
Caster credit. Certainly a good plan, though. Almost paid off just a little late on the detonation. If it had caught out Will, too, that would have been the ticket. Ooh, driver of car peeking up from underground. Completely undefended, has control in the center area now.
Now that I'm down here, there's 2 of them down here in this hallway. That may be unexpected. Of course, now they know.
Bill and Ryan in a bit of a trade-off here. Rig able to get driver of car. Where is Rig exactly? I wonder. Always tucked in over there. Down go 2. Ryan scoops up the push on this north side. JJ's coming in through the smoke. Does Ryan know he's there? The rounds are coming out, and JJ able to secure himself with his team with the round-winning kill. So the sub paying off clearly. And Rome snagged the series with that second map win, 4-2.
Yeah, that was really a great play from them. You know, it came out with the drone first off, got taken down by a C4 on a dead man's body, and still came out on top.
Really nice job. I mean, Lords of War again, though, with some great plays. The C4 detonation one in particular, a nice move there, almost catching out Rome. And I don't know, you can't ask for a much better performance, really. This is Lords of War coming into this season with some new players, and they're looking pretty good. They're certainly challenging Rome, who, as we've said, is a team that, you know, could be a top contender this season. They are playing very well right now, looking super coordinated. The teamwork is on point. The shield over, you know, the shield rifle over the shoulders working well for them. Now we're going to move on to Bazaar for map number 3. And we'll see what sort of tight teamwork we see out of Rome again, as it is their map pick.
A little open, but lots of little places you can hide and lots of cover. You know, see if they'll change it up. And looks like they're switching sides on me.
I do think that shield play is going to probably come into effect here, but I'll go more utility focused. In case you are wondering, we do always play the third map of the series in the VRML. It's important for the matchmaking rating, which is essentially your rank within the league. If Rome end up losing this third map, it'll mean that Lords of War will suffer less from MMR, from the MMR loss that they are going to face from losing this series. So, Lords of War is still certainly, in my opinion, obligated to put in a pretty good effort here. If they can grab this map, maybe win it 4-2 themselves, they really closed that gap in the range at how hard they've lost against Rome. And since Rome is a pretty decently ranked team, their goal right now, you know, to minimize the losses, the best Lords of War can do right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the way the scoring works, it's always beneficial to push through that last map even when you've already lost the series. And I think that really shows perhaps the maturity or experience of a team to see them not just sort of throw in the towel, to really fight to the bitter end, even though they've already lost the series.
Yeah, dedication maybe.
That'd be another good one.
Feels good to be back behind the cams, though. And for a game like this, it's certainly a good way to kick off Season 9. It's, I mean, playing right into how I anticipate Season 9 is going to be. It's going to be action-packed across the board. We have more casters to cover more games so that we can deliver more of that across-the-board action. And hopefully this season is one of the best for VRML, because I feel like everything's really starting to fire on all cylinders within the league. A lot of teams looking very good this season. A bunch of new teams formed, old teams going through roster changes. It feels like a fresh time to be in the league, and so I'm really excited for the upcoming games. We have, I think, tomorrow, Globochem versus SMC. We'll be bringing you the triple cast. Myself, Noman, and Sleepy will be joining you for that game. That's something we'll be doing a little bit more often behind the caster desk because it was certainly well received for the finals. But right now it's me and Zan diving into this bizarre map for map number 3, round number 1.
And JJ, the reservist or the shield?
Yeah, that's interesting, huh?
Very interesting. Always an interesting objective. You know, there's so many different approaches for it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're giving their sub the shield. That is, to your point, you know, that proves that he's been a former member of this team because they trust him. He knows he relatively knows their strategies and capable of leading with that shield. Driver of car with a nice early angle here in the second store. Might catch a rotation. Shots missing for both teams. Fitz misses his on the north.
This is a really interesting tactic from JJ, just sort of shielding up that north wall. Just absolutely, you know, verbal diarrhea of recon.
Look at that nade. Is it going to catch Will? No, it doesn't. It just rolls on the other side of that wood. I don't know how that doesn't kill him.
Some kind of sorcery, maybe?
Gotta be. JJ drops out from that north wall just in time. They do spot out. Call me Fitz, and the fire from Will comes out. Ryan grabs Lorena Scout. He tries to push in, and Rome down 1. Driver evening the odds 4-4. Fitz applying the pressure. Grabs JJ out, looking for the follow-up shots onto the shield. Can't land them, and Will able to snag one, looking for a second.
Yeah, we're in a kind of a 2 to 2.5 situation. We just saw Gunrama fall back. Absolutely imperative that he did that. Looks like he's going to get his teammate up. Going to have to watch for this guy in the south. That's could be dangerous here in a few minutes.
Will just inching his way up on the north side, rifle in hand, shield in the other. Gladiator getting denied. Rypick with that silenced AK manages to snag another. Gunrama trying to put shots down range toward the north push. He knows the shield's here. He is able to rotate in time.
Lords of War taking that round with 3 men still alive.
I think Gunrama was planning on running at him with the clacker in hand, and he was going to detonate himself when he got close enough.
Now, I don't know if this is still a thing, but I believe at one point, if the C4 was on your body, it would only kill you and injure anybody around you.
Hmm.
You have to take the C4 off your body for it to be lethal.
Well, that's probably why there was only a down on the subway map in the hallway.
Could be, could be.
But again, for the 3rd time in a row, Lords of War take the lead at the start of the round.
You know, that kind of falls into what you were saying earlier about adapting. Maybe Rome has the ability not so much to predict what the opponent's going to do, but to adapt to what they're doing and then overcome.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know really how you practice that other than scrimmages and putting yourselves into those scenarios on purpose. Otherwise, you don't really necessarily plan very often for 4v5s or 3v5s.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that falls more into like a pre-match recon situation.
See what Lords of War can do on the offense as we hop into round number 2. 3. But I do want to point out, Zan, that your first prediction of the season has been accurate.
Yeah.
So you're 1 for 1, and that can get dangerous. You better be careful with your predictions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You never know where the magic transfers to, but it exists. It's out there. Great power comes great responsibility. Lorena Scout got himself into a real nice defensive spot. I would be surprised if Lords of War prepared for Lorena to be here.
I was just going to bring that up. That could be very lethal here. And they're being very quiet about it too, so they could definitely catch some people from surprise.
Oh, they do have 2 reservists, don't they? Brad Walker also.
Negative.
He on their team as a...
He is.
Okay, well, they subbed him in. I didn't see him in there. Ryan scoops up 1. Fitz grabs himself another. Rome with the aggression getting caught out, and Lords of War trying to tack on to their lead here 2-0.
Yeah, I really like Brad's position here. Unfortunately, he's really dancing with death with Lorena right there.
Driver of car struggling with the reload, tossing his gun instead of the mag.
Oof.
Affirmative.
Here's another new scope on display. Driver's got that little hollow toggle. He can flip it on for more range if he wants to. Oh, and a bunch of kills going out. Lorena and JJ snagging Lords of War.
Gunshot still from that
1 apiece, and now we're into a 3v3. Where is Lorena, and when's he going to come into play here?
Yeah, Lorena just looks to his right a little bit. Man, Gun Ram is really toying with death. Is Lorena...
He heard audio behind him, and he was signaling to his team
Yeah.
that Riggs was rotating. Said his name wrong both times.
Oh. Always good to see that a team knows how many opponents they have left.
Kill count is really everything, and they almost added onto one of Lords of War there. Driver almost picking off Lorena.
Call me Fitz here in this western courtyard. I wonder if he's thinking cap right now. If he can get across this western street, he could possibly get in for a cap.
JJ does seem to be patrolling in the
He
vicinity.
does. But boy, if he times it just right, JJ might be out back there.
Right. Lorena also has an angle on the cross.
Yeah.
Snag himself a couple of picks here. He might get picked himself. Shots ringing in and a trade between the two of them. A really nice angle from Fitz there. And Lorena tags out the final Lords of War teammate, and Rome tying things up 1-1.
Yeah, it looks like they were going for a coordinated effort there, but unfortunately, the defense was just ready for them.
That position out of Lorena certainly throwing him off.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely happy so far. I think we really picked a good one for the first one of the season.
Technically not. Viper and Radar swooped in on that underneath us, Sam. They
Well, the ones
swooped.
for us. The first one.
Yeah, sure. They had a pretty dang good cast themselves as well, though. That was an awfully close game.
I agree.
4-3, 3-4, 4-3. And here, I mean, also pretty close. More in the hands of Rome, but Lords of War have been really putting on a good fight. We've been tied 2-2 into every map. Actually, no, that's not true. They managed to cap, didn't they, on Subway and go up 3-1.
Yeah.
I stand correct.
But I believe they were tied 1-1 at one point on each map.
Yes, yes, that's the true stat.
Looks like we're into the Kiat objective. This is my favorite objective.
You enjoy the Kiat building?
I do. I love it.
Are you a two-story camper kind of guy?
No, I'm a two-story capper.
Any of that out of the Rome squad here? Certainly, I mean, I would anticipate it's on a cap's on Rome's mind right now, because they already have series in hand, and they probably want to try and really blow out this final map.
This drone is starting to piss me off. Can you please kill it right away?
And again with that drone.
I heard Gunrama, this drone's pissing me off. Can we please kill it right away? And
Yeah.
do.
Can't wait for that Volk drone. It's going to be drone on drone action.
Like Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's gotten pretty good at flying the thing. The skill, really, to be able to navigate that drone around.
Definitely takes a little bit of a learning curve. It's not too bad. They kind of nailed it on the controls of it.
Yeah. Driver's struggling to reload his gun. Finally manages to pull the chamber back, and after a nice pickup, looks for another Ryan on the refrag. Gonna be ready for driver's location, though. Oh, doesn't matter. Gun drops the C4 right on top of him.
Yeah.
Where was that C4, I wonder?
I think it was right inside the building there with him.
Maybe on the roof?
Yeah.
Well, how would you think that would have killed him, though? Driver's
you
still
would.
alive.
Could it have? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I wonder if it was like on the underneath of this roof.
Awning?
Yeah, and it got him through the window.
Very possible. Certainly, that drone should have given some information as to the two men in the courtyard right now.
Yeah. Not enough information. I thought that was a confirm, but it's not. And a team kill comes in from Gunrama. They try and go get that res, and that might expose him. Fitz able to snag JJ on the back, and now that danger's kind of gone. It all comes down to the drone driver, who does have the information, but it's a 1v4.
1.5. He could get that res.
I thought you were counting the drone as half.
No.
Yep. Not anymore. Ryan confirming that one.
Looks like Brad's going for this revive. It's going to be a 5v1. This is a tough place to be for Rome.
Yeah. I would say I think maybe a sneak cap is probably your best option of doing damage here, but they really got their OBJ fully covered with all 5 alive.
Yeah. Trying to see if there's a path to get in, and boy.
Somebody
not
has
really.
to. One Lords of War teammate has to die for any one of these approaches to work.
I wonder if Gladiator had that moment where he looked at his tablet and said, "Now what?" Yet.
You have to embrace the challenge of pulling off the
no
1v5 clutch.
At that point, you got to bring out the guerrilla warfare. Just pop up, shoot, and move. With 2 minutes remaining, he's got to move pretty fast.
Right, he is back there. Yeah, he's got to start his plan now, and he's gone prone. No, he's crouch walking.
He's kind of like super crouched.
Yeah.
Call Me Fit's kind of in the back here. Is he gonna? Oh, he's too far tucked in to see the angle. No, he might see this angle. Oh, he's definitely going to his Gladiator. Come over here.
Pretty clean pickup for Fitz there, and celebratory gunshots go off as Lords of War maintain their lead and push it up 2-1. Look at Ryan right now, 7-1. Putting the team on his back this series.
A little bit. Call Me Fit's doing work too.
Yeah, he is 5-2.
Yeah, it's kind of just as I said. You never give up till it's completely over.
Yep.
Lords of War definitely pulled that off on this map.
This has been like a relatively, I want to say fast series, but I feel like it's been also like kind of, I don't know, it's weird. It's like an in-between. We've had some long rounds, but nothing's really come down to time. Neither team has really been short on time. We haven't gotten down to 30 seconds yet or anything like that. It's all been rounds ending roughly before 1 or 2 minutes are down onto the clock. So kind of an interesting thing to note how these teams are playing it pretty aggressive and not necessarily pacing it very slow.
Not like those 6-minute cargo rounds we've seen before.
Yeah. Nothing like that here today as we hop into round number 4. Do the math. Pretty standard defensive setup already. Some gunshots coming in here from Gunrama. And now he's in a tough spot. He's getting pushed. He's getting pinched. He's not going to expect this rotation.
No, he's not.
Good call outs.
Yeah, it was definitely a mildly aggressive move from JJ. Definitely paid off for him.
Bill getting aggressive also. Grabs Brad Walker. And now Lords of War down 3-4 as Ryan grabs another kill. Betrayed over on the east. Lorena trying to find the kills. Shots coming in through the wall. They do land. Rig able to snag one.
I think Rig caught the flash on that one, but it seems to be recuperating.
Fortunately, grabbed the down at least before he was flashed. We're into a 3v3 just like that. Rome's got to worry about their flank. Rig might find an opportunity for another kill here.
It definitely looks like Lords of War planned on going clear north and then kind of coming in from the north side of Kayat. But unfortunately, the western man is down at this point. Looks like Riggs is realizing that now.
Yeah, it would have been nice
Anxious
to
to see
have
how
a
they-
2 or 3 man team coming in from this
Yeah.
north wall here.
It looks like the defense isn't super covered from a northern approach. I mean, they definitely do have a few people with the head on a swivel, but sometimes you can get lucky and get by them when they're looking the wrong direction.
Yeah, they're certainly holding tight on objective. To your point, there may be an opportunity to quickly get up into the second story. If Will goes down, there's going to be a huge gap in coverage for that move to go underway. And
Yeah, if Rig comes around the back side of Kayat to the western side and can get in, that is a possibility.
Ryan shooting at some benches. And that exposes his head to Driver. With a nice pop to the melon, secures himself another kill, and Lords of War down into a 2v3.
Rig being very cautious on that cross, paying off for him.
Mine's 2.
Waving to his teammate on the far side of the map.
Oh, where's the bad guy? Shot at me too, but at least I got him.
And JJ with some spidey sense rotating upstairs.
Maybe he's just concerned as the only one of 2 members alive. Wants to ensure that nobody's over here. Sure the caps aren't going down. Driver gotten a little bit closer himself. He's watching outside approach. There is a bit of gap in coverage. If they sneaked their way in, cap right inside objective room and no one would really see it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're favoring their defense on the western side of the building, which
pays off. JJ grabbing out fits. Now it's all up to Rig.
as I was saying, the western side, which is how you get up to do that upper cap spot. But they're leaving that eastern corner open. It's a little tough to get in here.
He might cap. If he can get to that corner, he can cap on that corner.
Driver car is going to see him, though. You have to come out around the corner like he is.
Oh, he's fortunate enough to not get picked off. Now he's got a nice spot to duck down and grabs the gun. Can't bring it up in time. Driver applies the pressure, and we tie things up 2-2.
Very nice. That felt like a fairly long round, and their
Yeah.
patience definitely paid off.
Yeah, I guess they heard us talking about round times and decided to give us a longer one there. Quick shout out to everybody that has tuned in and dropped their sub. Might have been a few months since the last time you have checked on your Twitch Prime sub. A reminder, if you do have Amazon Prime, you can link your Twitch account and then subscribe for free to us, and you'll get a pretty rad emote. You can implant the VRML everywhere on Twitch. Go that way. We also got Twitter, if you do want to be privy to when all the casts are going live and when they've been scheduled, what you're going to see in the week to come. We recommend you head on over to Twitter and follow Onward_VRML. That's where you'll find all of your up-to-date news Join the Discord, get involved in the community. It is growing at a rapid pace. New players constantly jumping into the league. New teams always recruiting. So now's the time. Get into VR esports. These guys are into it, and we're into it. Right into round number 5.
Yeah, I think we're up to what, about 40 to 50 teams
Yeah.
now, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, we had fantastic participation from the community. And a team kill! Oh my goodness! Gladiator walked in front of him as he took shots. Thankfully,
Nothing
they weren't
worse than a
heads.
negligent discharge.
Couple of smokes here, though, looking pretty good. Driver's walking his across the street. Look at the aggression coming in here. What's Will doing? He's charging in. He's got Pat out. Does Brad see this? Shots are in.
No,
Riggs
he's
pushing, and they
got
all... Wow. Just barely deny Will.
Possibly got 180-20.
Reyna grabbing fits in that 2-story. Everything's staying pretty even here. Driver's pushing hard. He's got one in the back. He's punching in the code.
And they don't seem to know.
Brad's not looking here.
No, he's not. Is he just blocked a little bit? He's just like not seeing it.
No, he does. And you know what? Driver doesn't feel comfortable doing it. And a great pick from Brad denying
he-
another cap.
Did he abort the? He aborted.
Yeah. He stopped punching in the code and went for his rifle. And maybe he thought he had entered the correct code. I don't know. But either way, Brad saves the day.
He could have had that. That's so unfortunate.
Rome trying to snag this map under the noses of Lords of War.
Yeah, we're into 2v1.
If you're Brad at this point, you got to be pretty dang nervous about your objective.
Yeah. You almost lost it.
Twice.
I'm glad you're moving in.
Quick 360. Excuse me, 180 from Brad. Pick off. Attempted push, and we're into a 1v1.
Yeah, Lorena, here in the middle street, coming for that western approach.
I don't know about this angle, man. If Lorena goes inside and then quickly crosses that doorway, he could potentially punch in the code on the corner.
Absolutely. You think that's what's on their mind?
I don't know. I think Lorena, if anything, might try and cap on the outside again, where he sees 2 dead teammates and tries to do that. I'm pretty sure Brad's going to be
The
aware.
lemming effect again?
He's going down this.
Yeah.
Oh, and he finds the shots, doesn't opt in for the cap, instead wants to put his team into the lead as they swing into their Volk round 3-2.
I mean, 1 point's better than no point.
Yes, very true. When you're into a 1v1, you gotta take what you can get.
Absolutely. Because there's nobody there to back you up.
See if Lords of War can break out of this 2 conundrum that they find themselves in.
Yeah, right.
Can't seem to get past that dang number.
Love to see them cap this round.
Oof. You know, it's not a bad play. Unless you're really thinking about duking it out, going blow to blow, and just grabbing this round and then taking your Volk round and trying to win it that way.
I mean, I feel like it could be hard because, as you said, people tend to defend what they attack,
Right.
and we saw how Rome attacks. So
Yeah, if anything, Rome might be a little over aggressive on defense here. We'll find out as we dive into.
sitting in spawn, they're definitely feeling good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hear the jeering and the laughs. Six begins and Will is pushing into courtyard.
Ooh, and Gladiator pushing out here.
Realizes it's not just one, but the whole team. Somehow Gladiator killed himself on fire.
He had a lit Molotov on his chest. So he got downed and then burned himself.
I don't know why you would do that, but...
For easy access, of course.
Ah, sure. That's how you always like to handle Molotovs in real life, right?
Yeah.
Light the rag, put it back on your chest, and get out there. We got a nice angle here into objective building.
It's kind of an interesting setup I'm seeing. Like, you have offense on one side of the objective and defense on the other, inclusively.
Yeah, I don't know why we haven't seen the rotation off of that west side, considering they've lost one over here and they heard multiple gunshots come out from the east.
It's excited to see how this one plays out. Looks like JJ's getting a little antsy here.
That's so risky peeking that street, because once you've lost control of the south, there's tons of little spots that you can peek
yeah,
out from
absolutely.
on this wall. You can go up onto some ramps, you can look over the wall, you can look through the gaps in the wall, you can push hard and flank around the other buildings. There's so many options here, and Ryan's about to find himself with all those options. We're looking good. 5v3 right now. Brad could maybe just walk up to objective and capture it.
Yeah, I know Gunrama just got called out. He called out the guy at Red Truck. I feel like JJ had to have seen one of the guys on the south. I'm not sure.
Driver.
Ooh.
Getting shot at by a few people. Does trade, though.
2 of Lords of War went down with like 1 false swoop.
Rypick snagging Lorena on the backside, though. Keeps Lords of War in the game. And they do decide to go fist punch for fist punch. Duke it out down to the last wire. Lords of War now on their defensive round, trying to secure at least one map in the series.
Yeah, that always is nice, but they got past that too that we were talking about.
Yeah, they did.
One step closer. Now we're on this East Market objective. With Rome on offense, I guarantee they are thinking cap right now.
Would be interesting, and to the point of the MMR, it would boost how much they gain. If they can push their map 3 win up 5-3 versus 4-3, it's that much more of a boost. But do you take that risk when you could potentially just grab the third map by killing the other team?
I think they're going to take that risk.
They have the option. They don't need to win this map. They've already secured the series. Yeah, I don't see really why you wouldn't want to go for that cap. Maybe this that spawn might deter it. One of the slower ones on this objective.
They do have the far spawn, yeah. Well, JJ's reading the code, so they're definitely thinking about it a little bit.
Watch your heads.
Got Gladiator pushing up the center market really fast. It's kind of slowing down here a little bit.
Fitz does have eyes if he chooses. Brad, actually, that was the one that grabs out Gladiator. I thought Fitz might snag it. Shots coming in here from Will over the top. Looking for the refrag. He can't quite secure that. Great start for Lords of War. 5v3. 5v4, excuse me.
Yeah, it's always a little bit of an aggressive move to come up those stairs where Brad was, but it seemed to have paid off for him.
Driver of car might find himself with Gunrama soon. JJ snagging pick Ryan, who has been a pretty important staple to the Lords of War offense and defense. I think Gunrama's angle can spot out Lorena. Night vision from dumpster there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a little late to it, but I saw Lorena looking up between those two buildings to see what they could see. Kind of an interesting move.
Yeah. If you're lucky, you can snag one in that dark hallway, but doesn't seem to be the case. And C4 getting detonated for some reason. Nice identification there from Will. Good teamwork from Rome. Grabs themselves that second kill, and now Lords of War losing their defense. So this is going to come on to the shoulders of Rig.
And Rig really needs to watch what he's doing here.
Look at that. That's a heck of an angle. Boy, nice frag from Brad, grabbing Lorena on the backside. Rig doesn't get the shots onto Will, and the hard push from Will secures himself with a kill. Now it's into a 2v2. Smokes out on objective. Driver of car on a nice rotation, maybe trying to draw Brad Walker's eyesight away from where he's going to be pushing.
William getting the frag on him. Now it's 2v1, and where is the one?
Fitz right here, snagging driver down the long hallway. Will looking for that frag, crosses over. Fitz doesn't see him on his right, and we're into the 1v1.
Looks like William kind of realizes he's the last man up and trying to figure out what he wants to do.
Fitz is also doing the same, checking all the angles, making sure nobody's capping, punching in the code, and it seems like Will's just playing out the clock.
Yeah. I mean, this is a bit of an exciting moment. We got a 3v3 score and a 1v1 player in the round. This is map point right here.
It is a great finish to this series today, to the kickoff for us of the season. If this is how the rest of the season is going to shake out, I'm going to be a happy camper. Because you're right, this is a tense moment right now. Will slowly inching his way up.
Being a little noisy. I don't know if he's within audio range. Oh. Well, that didn't go where he wanted. I think he meant to throw that smoke up over that stairwell, and it just went off into the...
Oh. Oh.
Oh! Oh!
Wow, it almost distracted Fitz enough for that to pay
Yeah.
off. Will almost got incredibly lucky. Fitz almost snags
that
him on the
was-
backside.
It's like a race to that hallway.
40 seconds. This is the first time we've come down to the wire. They were listening to our cast. They did
Yeah, they
hear
were.
us. They're pushing it down now to the last few seconds. Is Will aware of his time? He will be now after the 30-second buzzer.
Yeah. And he better move or it's going to go to Lords of War.
Checking these angles. Doesn't have time to sit long. Keeps pushing
if I would-
forward.
If I was Fitz right now, I would just tuck in.
Yeah.
He's basically has it at this point if he doesn't die. Which he might. He might here.
He doesn't. Fitz catching him out on that rust rotation. And Lords of War secure themselves a map, albeit not really vital to their series victory, but certainly good in minimizing the MMR loss for them. And I mean, with that, what a great series, huh, Zan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Lords of War to come in here with new players right out of the rookie boot camp and be able to at least finish off the last map with a map win, that's a really great show and a great way to start the season.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And good job to Rome 2 for getting the series win.
Yeah, Rome's looking good this season. You know, they certainly have the teamwork and coordination there. They have the plays there, as does Lords of War. And I mean, these aren't teams necessarily in the top 10 or anything like that, and they're breaking out strategies that are unique to them. And I just, like I said, this season is going to be fantastic to watch. Hope everybody tunes in and catches more games. We are going to have another one, maybe a few tomorrow, but I do recommend tuning into the SMC Globo matchup at 6 p.m. PST. That should be really exciting to watch, and that'll be another fantastic series in this week 1 for season 9. I can't wait for that. Zan, are you looking forward to that matchup?
I am. I definitely am.
I know I'll see you in chat watching it for sure.
Yeah.
I think with that, we are going to sign off. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. My co-caster is Xandria. And a quick shout out to our sponsors, ProTube VR and VR Cover, for sponsoring the league. We will see you tomorrow with more VRML action.
Have a great night, everybody.